morning, everyone. Welcome to Friday's World Session. We are the 9th of August, 2024. So, to give myself a little bit of guidance where to go for today's work, I pulled an oracle card from the Goddess Tarot by Colette Baron Reed. I love this deck. And I wasn't quite sure where we were headed for today's work. So I pulled a card. And the card that I pulled, sorry about the reflection, is called Flow. Flow. So what this shows me is that it's to stay within your midline, that present moment, and then flow happens naturally. So the universe provides, or whatever you need happens to come into your life when you're in that midline. Now, there are some misconceptions about flow that I want to address first before we go on to this. If you are breathing and you're alive and you're watching this video and or somehow came across this, I want you to know that you're in the flow, you're breathing, you're alive. Your body is always seeking homeostasis, even if something's hurting, even if things are not going well. Your body, mind, and life is always seeking balance, even if that means it's wobbly. So just to take away or to highlight any misconceptions. Now that came up intuitively lets me know that there's a lot of expectations about what flow is. So you can think for yourself what you think flow means. Maybe flow means my life is easy, or things come easily to me, or um, maybe you think that it should work out in a certain way, or maybe you don't understand or know that follow God leads you, or universe leads you through a series of no doors until you hit the yes doors. So follow the no doors until you hit the yes. There's nothing that is meant for you will pass you by. So that one hit me in the gut. Nothing that is meant for you will pass you by. So that could be, let's say, a relationship, or meeting someone, or a job opportunity, or a house, or moving, whatever. That right house will find you, that right relationship will find you, that it'll it'll somehow come about, but without any expectations, right? And if you think about the flow of a river, it's not always smooth and easy peasy. Sometimes there's rapids, and sometimes there's upheaval and waterfalls. That means you're still in the flow. You're still in the flow. Flow doesn't mean this even keel. And the only time things are flat, like even keel or just completely balanced, is actually when there's no heartbeat. So there is a burp happening there. So some shift is happening. I'm feeling that within the gut. So we're going to go ahead and we need to do not a repair to intuition, because there's nothing wrong with your intuition. Now, here's another piece coming in saying that I want to have more intuition. Well, the intuition that you have and that you were born with, that's it. But what you can do is hone in. You can refine how intuition rises, or anchoring the mind so the thoughts don't get in and start to interfere with those intuitive nudgings. So the intuition, that's all the lower, it's the body, it's the gut, it's the lower chakras, it's feminine, so feminine intuition. So we're going to do a fine tuning here. So it's kind of like removing the static so that you can hear and your intuition guide you on your path, or That could be as simple as you're walking down the street and then your body flings you, turns you quite quickly down. Let's say you turn right and then um, you avoided, I don't know, you avoided an accident or you avoided something falling from a tree or a branch falling and hitting you in the head. Those are just some really simple examples. Or let's say you're about to walk into the store. This has happened to me before. I walk into a store and then something tells me, get out. I don't ask any questions. I just listen to that intuitive hunching. I abandon. Next thing you know, I've abandoned my cart and I've left the store. Now, um, there's no thought. It's very spontaneous and clear, and there's not this big long windiness to intuition. It's just it's very clear. And usually my body will move me there. So, for example, there's another one. Let's say you've lost something. I do this often, and I'll say hairbrush, 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 and I'm looking around all over the place. My body will actually walk me to where the hairbrush is, and then my head will turn, and then I'll see my hairbrush. Oh, that's intuition. That's your intuition working. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do some a Acidri to that small intestines to refine digestion. So also to refine to kind of undo the static or release the static. So the mind is not overly involved with leading you to the next no door. Maybe the next no door is not going to be a no. Maybe it'll be a yes. So we're going to go ahead and do that refinement to the small intestines, anchoring within the midline, and then to help calm the brain, to help calm the mind, you've really got to start asking yourself questions. Now, not analytical questions, but deductive and curious questions like, what do I really mean by that? And not to assume what somebody else means, or even to assume what you mean by something. But what does this mean? So you can get on to any kind of form of self inquiry, and Jnana yoga is fantastic. You can look at breakthrough through the body talk um, system. They have this thing called breakthrough where you get to explore really the contents of what you really mean, the masks that you wear, and the things that are unconsciously leading you in your life when you're feeling most triggered or most in conflict. You can also book a session with me. I'd be happy to guide you through and explore with you and have a little adventure with you and see what's really going on, what's really beneath the surface that's guiding your life, right? If you're having trouble manifesting, or um, let's say a job or money, or if your body's having a hard time healing, we can see what's happening below the surface. As what we do in this work is we go to that under part of the iceberg, so to speak. As it's everything beneath the surface that is leading, that is guiding your life. Now, um, that being said, intuition could bring you to a practitioner, could bring you to, let's say, a massage therapist, or to a body talk practitioner, or a Reiki practitioner, or even to the doctor, or bring you out into the forest. That's your intuition guiding you. So if you're finding this session and you're here, then welcome. If this is the first time you've been here or you're finding this work, and if you have any questions, please reach out. So we're anchoring the brain. Now, I'm not saying all the body systems that we're working through, but this is doing differentiation from the mind being involved with intuitiveness or your intuition. We're clearing up that midline where we've softened the corpus callosum. We're doing a full brain balancing through cortices, and we're anchoring that to the small intestines, doing a improvement in the functioning of the small intestines, and also to the gut brain, which is your enteric brain, your intuitive hunches. There we go. And then we just got to do a little bit of a balance through those hips. They feel a little bit wobbly. So if you're experiencing back pain, upper shoulder pain, feel a little contraction in the back of my head, it feels like the hips are a little bit off. So we're going to go ahead and do a hip realignment actually through something called the Beebolt's technique. We're going to go sacrum. We're going to go to sacrum to occiput, and then occiput to pubis. I'm going to just reshift that, the way that it sits, the way that your hip sits. So the hips are all about your foundation. So you can look, it's maybe a time to take a look at what you're building upon, what your foundations are. Have you organized and planned well? Have you, maybe it's time to relook at your finances, re-examine some things in your life. What are the foundations of your life and what are you looking to build? So this is very different than being goal oriented. It's healthy to have a goal and to work towards something, but without any expectation of how that's going to work out. And there's flow, right? That's flow. Okay, I want this thing to manifest in my life, whether it be a relationship, money, maybe health, or repair relationships with children or coworkers or friends. I'd like this in my life. I'd like for this to happen, but without any expectation of how it's going to come to be. So we need to drop those expectations. Now, maybe someone's going to say, oh, you can have healthy expectations. I have not ever seen ever yet any expectation that has worked out well. You can explore that for yourself. I have not come across, you know, a reasonable expectation. It always seems that it leads to some sort of failure or disappointment. All right, there is a deep breath there. I'm watching the hips. We're going to bring in ooh, there's a big release there. So circulation through, we're going right down into the periosteum of the hips. We got to do a circulation of blood, lymph, nerve, chi through there, and really blood. So bringing in those healthy nutrients to the hips so that those foundations are nice and solid, but flexible, right? So flexibility is really important to be able to move with the changes within your life. When you get stuck or stagnant, or rigid, that shows a lack of flexibility within your mind. We need to have flexibility within life. Okay, this didn't quite work out, or let's try a different way. Let's try a different way. Let's try something new. Let's go here. Let's try this. Um, yeah, like making, you try a bunch of recipes until you find the recipe, let's say the recipe for cookie that turns out well. It's not that there is anything wrong with the other recipes for the cookies. It's just that you got to keep tweaking it. So I don't really like recipes, but it's just I don't really like the way that I said that so much. But it's about trying a little, it's about trying this and that and being able to go to be flexible with the changes in your life. And I'm going to leave it there. There's something else that's kind of niggling at me before we sign off for today's work. We'll balance the shoulders to the hips. So the shoulders, when they're in healthy state, is being able to carry the burden of your life, carry the weight, the responsibility of your life without going into victim consciousness or any kind of pathology, shoulds, woulds, couldas, blame, victim, anything. So if you have any skewed ideas of what responsibility is and you're like, well, I have no choice, then that's signaling you that you need to start exploring that. You can reach out. We can do this through soul responsibility. You can reach out to me. I'd be happy to guide you through. And we're going to balance, do reciprocals of all points of the shoulders to all points of the hips. So that's also going to increase communication through the whole part and a full part of the body. So going through all of the organs, so lung, heart, breast, down through the liver, gallbladder, into the small intestines, into the hips, and then vice versa on the other side. So this is what I like to call the WD-40 for the body, for the joints, and an improvement in functioning through um, the energetic crossway that it meets. All right. That's all for today. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for listening and finding my channel. If you want to have more content like this, please go ahead and subscribe. That helps me get these sessions out to you complimentary without any charge. If you'd like to explore something personal, because these sessions are not tending to personal needs, please go ahead and reach me. And I'd be so happy to support you and walk you through. All right. Happy weekend. If you would like to get in touch with me, my email is monikamarczuk@gmail.com. So I'll spell my last name and my first name because it's spelled with a K. So Monika is MONIKAMARCZUK @gmail.com. So looking forward to connecting with you, and thank you for being here.